Whitebeard, Big Mom, and Kaido running away from Garp. Oh man, we start this chapter with Roger looking for Shakky, Zebek looking for his family, and Garp, who just wants to fight Roger. But the real spotlight character in this chapter is Dragon. While protecting the babies, he runs into a god knight, who is introduced as Mafi. And I gotta say, design-wise, Mafi looks way too cool. Oda gave Mafi the cigar, the shades, the sword. We even get a glimpse at what her powers are when she shoots a beam out her mouth right through Dragon's shoulder, which leads to him dropping both Shanks and Shamrock. We don't learn why this chapter, but apparently someone told Mafi to collect Garland's children, and for some reason they didn't want Garland to find out, which is weird because why would Garland care about the babies that he left to die with their mom? Something doesn't add up. But because of this, Mafi ends up taking Shamrock. And what hits hardest about this interaction is Dragon's reaction to the kids being taken, because that's his atonement for everything that's going on right now. He feels that if he can't even protect two babies that their mother begged him to protect, then what's the point? And I see why Dragon in present day is all about fate, because luckily for him, Whitebeard and Big Mom show up. And Whitebeard ends up slicing Mafi in half. And Big Mom's like, dude, what are you aiming at? And I'm not gonna lie, I have to agree, because Whitebeard, did you not see Mafi holding a baby in their hands? That could have gone in so many different kinds of ways. And I understand Whitebeard probably does not care right now. He's probably focused on getting Shakky and all that. But at the same time, come on, dude. And Dragon looks up at Whitebeard and Big Mom, and he's like, these pirates are huge. And I feel like Oda specifically pointed that out for a reason. We still don't know why Big Mom and Whitebeard are as big as they are. When we met Big Mom, we're just like, oh, she's a huge child. Her parents, who look like her parents, aren't actually big, but Big Mom is. It has to have something to do with Giant's blood, right? Because they may not be full giants, but Whitebeard and Big Mom are the size of multiple houses stacked on top of each other. I feel like Dragon pointing that out is a little seed that was planted by Oda that we're gonna probably hear about in the future. And y'all heard me when I just said Whitebeard, Big Mom, and Kaido are these huge, intimidating forces. Tell me why a bunch of random pirates are like, oh, this is our opportunity to take down the Rocks pirates. Do you not see Big Mom, Whitebeard, and Kaido all together? Maybe if one of them was by themselves, but y'all are choosing to attack the Rocks pirates as a collective. At that point, y'all deserve to die. Respectfully, because it's like, what are you doing? And while all the pirates are fighting each other, we turn back to Dragon. And he finds baby Shanks on the ground, and we see on his face the relief he has seeing a baby that is still alive that he can rescue. And now we know why Shanks and Shamrock were separated, because Dragon found Shanks and did everything in his power to get him off the island, and sadly for Shamrock, he had to be stuck with the Celestial Dragons because for some reason, somebody wanted Garland's children. And speaking of Celestial Dragons, we see Garp pull up, and he is ready to fight the Rocks pirates. Unlike all those little miniature pirates that we saw earlier, we know Garp. All the Rocks pirates end up running away from Garp, which I gotta talk about because we know Whitebeard, we know how he died, and we know the monologue that was given at his death, that he never ran away from a fight. That was the thing that brought me to tears in Marineford, I'm not gonna lie. For me to see a panel of Whitebeard running away did crush my soul a little bit, and I even tried to defend it in my head at first, because I'm like, okay, Whitebeard's trying to get Shakky. It's true that if he fought Garp right now, they would probably be fighting the whole entire time and that he wouldn't be able to protect Shakky. And I was thinking that until I saw later on in the chapter that he's fighting Roger. And we know that Roger and Whitebeard have the same goals at this point. Why are you running away from Garp, but you're gonna go clash with Roger? And at this point, I don't know what to say. Even Kaido's like, why are we running away? I don't know why either. In all honesty, if Garp wanted to fight Whitebeard, Big Mom, or Kaido, he would just chase y'all. We know how fast Garp is. There is no getting away from Garp. I don't know how to feel about this. We're gonna have to let God Valley keep going, and maybe this moment will be redeemed in some way. But Garp's looking real good this chapter. Big Mom ends up throwing an attack at him while they're running away, and he just tanks it. He even mocks her. He's like, what was that? Garp is worth all the hype that's behind him. Even though I criticize him for his views sometimes and his way of justice, Garp is cool. We also get to see the rest of the Rocks pirates looking for Shakky. And something that I noticed that I want to focus on is Captain John in that panel has a gigantic metal arm. And the only person in One Piece that we know has a gigantic metal arm is Kid. It's a 60% possibility that Captain John ended up having Kid's fruit before Kid got it, which makes sense considering that he's already dead in present day One Piece. Now, whether you think Kid is dead or not depicts how you view this, because you can go down a whole rabbit hole thinking about, is Kid still alive? The soul's connection to devil fruits. Is he gonna be relevant in the future? Is someone else gonna get Kid's devil fruit? That's a whole rabbit hole I'm not gonna get into in this video, but I think it's important that we were shown that. If you're liking the video so far, feel free to like and subscribe. I enjoy doing this, and I hope you enjoy watching my content. Back to the video. Now, we get to Summers, and boy, I do hate him with a seething passion, because he goes to check up on Shakky, right? And even chained up, Shakky was able to take down all the Marines that were around her. And that says something, because, you know, we didn't really know the extent of Shakky's strength, because we know she's the most beautiful and no one would fight her in the first place, but it seems like she really does have hands and she can be power scaled. So I apologize, Shakky. You will now be power scaled at some point by people who care about that. And out of pure disrespect, Summers slaps her in the face talking about, I hate women that know their worth. This dude is a scumbag. And I'm not gonna get into everything he says to Shakky, but his whole monologue at the end of the chapter, he needs to go. Forget the Gorosei. The Gorosei are evil, but Summers is a different level. That dude enjoys seeing people in pain to the highest degree. He's willing to kill Shakky, even though he knows that Garling wants her as his wife. And even with her fighting back, Summers is trying to crush her spirit, saying nobody's gonna come for you, saying how he's gonna kill her, how brutal everything is going to be. Thankfully, Rayleigh ends up showing up, doing a huge attack that ends up sending Summers flying through a wall. I had the hugest grin on my face when I saw that, because Summers needs to go. When we leave this flashback, I need Luffy and Loki to team up with Gabon to get Summers off the planet. I don't care what happens to the rest of the God Knights. I really don't. I just want Summers to be gone by the end of the Elbaf arc. I'm low-key tired of seeing him. In a good way. Oda's doing a good job writing the villain. If I hate him this much, he's doing a good job. But yeah, Rayleigh ends up going to Shakky and apologizes for being late. And they embrace in tears and hugs. And they pretty much live happily ever after, as we know. I can't say the same for everyone else though, because at that point, Rayleigh claimed her. And we can tell that Gabon and Roger know it, because they're sitting outside while Rayleigh's hugging Shakky, crying, talking about, hey, y'all can do that later, please, can we go? Which sucks for Roger, honestly, because he got held up by Whitebeard the whole entire time. Whitebeard could have been the one to save Shakky if he didn't decide to go fight Roger, and vice versa. I just don't understand that, and maybe we're gonna get more, maybe we'll get a conversation in between them, because we know that Roger is not done on the island yet. Even though it looks like they're about to leave, we haven't seen Roger interact with Zebek. We haven't seen Garp interact with Roger yet. We haven't seen the main three people do anything yet when it comes to interacting, when it comes to making a big move on the island. We still got a lot of climax left in God Valley. I got a couple people to shout out. Let's see what we're talking about. We got the party 173. Tell Son that he's doing an amazing job. You're doing an amazing job, and I truly do love and appreciate everything that you do for me by sitting there. At some point, he's gonna have a more active role. He's just being real lazy right now. One day in the future, y'all can quote me on it. We got Seen in Dirt. That's why he's the GOAT. Thank you. I don't know if you're talking about me or him, but we both appreciate it. Zijao Lucas, I hope I'm saying that right. You're gonna be great someday, my man. I appreciate it. Give me like a year, I might be up there with Brago and them. I'm gonna try to go a little bit harder on this little YouTube thing I got going on. So I appreciate the support, I really do. Yeah, that's all I got. Tune into the next video. I really do appreciate y'all. Mwah.